So first up, when you view photographs in Photoshop, you're always best off viewing them at 25%, 50% and 100%. And the main reason is because if I go to like 66, the pixels aren't sharp. So if you're going to do sharpening, come to 100% or, you know. But all right, let's start off. So what we're going to do is work on Les's actions. So straight away, I'm just going to go to his actions and scroll down to the bottom, and we've got Les's basic workflow setup. So if I click play on this, it comes up with all our adjustment layers, and you can actually see them. If I drag it out, you can see them named, yeah? So target black and white. So let's click on this, or double click on this. Oops. All right. And the properties dialog box comes up for this certain layer. And we can see you've already done quite a bit of editing and the highlights are blown out, which is not such a bad thing. So what we're going to do on this adjustment layer is align our red, green and blue layers so they line up perfectly and give our image more detail. And you can do that through here. So see red, green and blue?
Yeah, can you do it?
So if I do Alt-3, Alt-4, Alt-5, the layers are all there. You can see they're all different. So that's red, green and blue. So Alt-3, I'll hold down the Option key or the Alt key. Drag it in just till we get a little bit of clipping. See the clipping down the bottom?
Yep.
Yeah, just till we get a little bit of clipping.
So you're looking for black.
And then back it off, yeah. And you can do the same with the highlights as well, but the highlights are already blown. So Alt-4, which is green, drag it in. So a tiny bit of clipping. Then Alt-5 for the blues, and I think the blues are already, oh no, there we go. You can get a couple of numbers out of it. So the difference now in this image is, see how that brings out more detail in the image? So before it's kind of hazy. I mean, it still looks nice.
Yeah, just clicking it again.
But now with the detail, we've got 100%. It looks much better, yeah? So before, after. I mean, if we want to put a color cast over later, warm or cooler, we can do that. But we'll just wait for later. Alright, so our next layer is warmer or cooler. So I've a little recipe for this to make things warmer is, whoops, so 0 cyan red, excuse me, -3 magenta, because we want to make it warm, and -12. Did you see that quick shortcut?
Yes, shift and up and down arrow.
So that does it in 10% or 10s anyway.
So it's a mid-tones.
Yeah, so that's already made the image heaps warmer than it actually is. And we can apply this to certain parts of the image. So, for example, I want to apply the warmth to, let's say, all the greens and stuff in there and the blacks. So a quick way to select these is go to the select menu item, color range, and now what we do is we can either just target, let's say, target the shadows and all the shadows show up, or we could target the mid-tones, or we can actually, which there's quite a lot of, actually. Or what I like, the other thing I like to do is just sample colors. So first of all, let's sample a few colors, then click the plus tool and sample more colors, and just click around a few spots that you think should be warm. So I think that'll do. So everything, hopefully everything in white will be warm and everything in black, which it'll be masked out, so it won't be warm. So, okay.
And that was, where did you pick up this color range stuff? It's
so
from,
the color range
select.
is under select, color range.
Color, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's not the most accurate way to do it, but it works well for our needs anyway. So see the warmer cooler layer, we've actually made certain parts of the image warmer. And what I like to do is duplicate the image, so Command J duplicates the image or the layer that's selected. I will invert the mask because the mask is selected. Command I, that inverts it. And now let's make this cooler. So, alright, so -3 cyan, 0 magenta green, and we'll make this plus 12 blue. So as you can see, so this is our warmer palette. So now we've got, see how it just really brings like the contrast in the image? And already we've kind of made quite a big effect and the image is starting to come out. And this is without any varvarvorm. This is just using colours to contrast the image, and also we can use contrast as well. Alright. So I'll just go back to here. So there's a couple of different ways to... Remember that image of Laura and her cheeks get muddy or they get oversaturated and stuff like that? So what Les talks about is tonality and
Color.
Color, yeah. So colorizing things. So we're using blend modes. I apply blend mode to each of these layers above. So for something like the target white and blacks, I actually apply the color, just not to make it more contrasty or less contrasty, but just to bring the red, greens and blues in line. With the warmer and cooler, I apply color to them as well. So there's actually quite a big difference. If I can just change the blending modes. See?
Yes.
So this is now, and that's before. And next up, what we're going to do is actually add some contrast to the image using harder, softer. And the best way to play harder, softer, so instead of playing with your curves, going like this, going, oh, should we do it this way or that way? I think the best way to do it is just to use a default curve, like a preset that's already there. And this one's Les.
Some contrast.
Yeah, it's already on luminosity, and let's just drag the opacity back to whatever. I mean, we could have it. Depends on your editing style and what you like, but let's just have a tiny bit contrast. We don't need it much, but just a tiny bit contrast.
You don't want to overdo it.
Yeah. All right. So next step, this is a hue saturation layer. Maybe we want to change the saturation a little bit, or maybe you want to dull it down, yeah? Make it more black and white. But if we're going to do black and white, use a black and white layer. So a little bit of saturation, and then I'll just come over here to blending mode and change that to saturation. And we can use color, but saturation for saturation, yeah? All right, and lastly, this last layer is lighter, darker. So again, go straight to the presets, -1, close that down. We'll change that to a luminosity blending mode. So for example, see this will really show you a great example. So this is really dark with the luminosity, but if I go back to normal, see how I don't know if you can see, so that's
the
with
black is
luminosity.
getting a little bit.
Yeah, so
a little more
it's,
tones.
yeah, so there's more tones in that, whereas beforehand there's probably less. So actually that's looking really good, isn't it? It looks good dark, I think. In my opinion, anyway, I like dark.
But you know, in real life, you know what attracted me because of the really thick fog, right?
Yeah,
because you know this is just like really on the top of the mountain, and there's just basically open sky. And it was like really bright, and I just wanted to capture this brightness.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But you could kind of like feel the fog, you know?
Yeah. So it was like really bright, like the other way.
Yeah.
This way, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
In my raw, I actually played with these bright colors and actually made it brighter. So it's almost kind of like you can almost kind of feel it, you know?
So if you want, you can just add like a plus, and then you got your bright.
And then mask, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's overall it's too bright, but what I did is
Yeah. All right, so I'll just cut that down. Still looking good.
Yeah, it looks really good with the bright.
So, I mean, that's now. So that's before and that's after. So everything's just slowly coming into and making its own way into life. All right. So the next thing we do is we go and use Les's varvarvorm because we've already got these layers. I mean, if you want, you can group these layers in a folder.
Yeah.
But let's not worry about it at the moment. So Les Walklings varvarvorm. We play this. Oops. Sorry. Let's stop that. What I'll do is I'll stamp this, and then so that'll stamp all these layers together and put it above.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just STAMP, just for later. Alright, and now let's go and play Les Walklings. Oops. So play, and we'll just let this go. So they've given us options, and if you're really good with curves, sometimes it's worthwhile playing with curves. I mean, it does change everything in the image. But what we'll do is we'll just leave it to the default for the moment. Alright, so okay, so I mean highlights, midtones, and lasso, and shadows. And lastly, what it does is with this stamp layer, it'll add like a broad contrast sharpening to the whole lot. And the bottom, so Les Walklings has created a smart layer, or like a smart object.
And why they throw that one in the bottom?
Well, because it's always the bottom image, and it's just safer to add it that way. Because we've stamped everything, we could hide that stamp actually. Because we've stamped everything, it won't show through that layer, so we've hidden it. Alright, and the other parts of these Walklings are the equalization. So essentially this is just an inverse. So if I change the blending mode from overlay back to normal, this is just an inverse of our colours. So that's actually really bright. See, really bright. That's really dark. Oh, that's so. So the whiter parts are really dark. So it's just inverting all the colours and then applying the overlay blending mode. So first steps. Sometimes this is actually too hard, and we can turn all of this off. Or you can selectively leave it on. So again, just drag the opacity back. Maybe we don't want it too much. I think it actually works really well on 100%. It works quite well. And the keyboard shortcuts to change the opacity, as long as you've got the selection tool selected, is like 50. See up here, opacity, change to 50%. 9 for 90.
Oh, I was saying it's like a brush.
Yeah.
But you have to click in there.
Obviously. No, you don't.
Not even have to click in there?
So if you've got a brush, the brush tool selected, it'll change the opacity of the brush. And 0 for 100%. So I'll go back to the move tool.
Oh, okay. So when you're in a move tool,
So if I press 67, it goes 67.
Got it.
In the move tool, why in the move tool?
Well, move tool? When you've got a brush selected.
Okay. It's changing the.
Yes. Okay. So I'll just go back to the move tool.
You had it the other way around. Karoly, you had the lens on the bottom. That's it.
All right. So is that playing again? Cool.
Yeah, it's still playing.
Yeah. So we've just changed. Like it looks really good at 100%. Always find the shadows too much. I mean, if you want, you can go in and edit the curve, but
maybe just reduce the.
It's a little bit complex.
So
what I like to do is just reduce the opacity. Quite a lot, and you want it like this image. You want it bright, So you don't want all those blacks in there.
I actually had it. Like I thought that was a bit too much. So I actually had it.
So that's when you can do selective editing and stuff like that. Midtones actually make things a lot brighter. So I'm just going to cut those down to 50. It's kind of selective, and the highlights. Usually I don't do much with the highlights. It just creates that separation for the whole image, and you won't like it's tiny, but it works well. All right. And lastly, let's come back down to this smart filter. So, of course, they've done an unsharp mask of 25/25 and a threshold of 2, which just makes it less pixelated. And you can adjust this as well to only affect the luminosity layer if you want, which is what you want for sharpening. You only want to sharpen the luminosity, never colour. And you can also scrub the opacity of, how much sharpening you want in the image. So.
Oh, no, that was nice. Yeah, that was just like you went through that. That was nice.
All right, so it's all personal taste again. And as you can see, we've only done a little bit of selective, like localized color, So you got the blues and the greens, and from start to finish, we've kind of gone from there to there, which really makes the image stand out.
Absolutely incredible.
So all of a sudden you become a good photographer when really you're just good at Photoshop.
No, it's not a good photographer, it's a shit cameras.
Yeah. All right, so next step on Les's actions, what do we got here? Reverse overlay masking, that's actually the equalization layer just by itself without the sharpening and these three curves here. And altered luminosity. So what altered luminosity does, and I'll just click play, is creates a black and white layer, applies a blending mode of luminosity, and then we go in and change the properties of each color. So select the black and white layer, interactive eyedropper, which I'll show, and you then click and drag left and right just to change the colors of the image. So here's the interactive eyedropper. There's our basis of colors that have been set up in the action. So if I go over to, let's say, these greens and drag left or right, see how it changes? So now you can selectively go in. So go in and change colors. Alright, just give us 5. Thanks. Alright, so we can do that on anything. Select that tool. Let's go for a brown. Do you want it darker? Lighter or darker?
I would make it darker because what I wanted to do for it to stand up.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, essentially, it doesn't always work that way.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I suppose it's visual. I'll go a little bit lighter.
Yeah. Okay.
And these darks actually, because these are dark as well, and it's moving with the colors. And you can do that with the reds. So Command plus to zoom in, space bar to press the hand tool, and click and drag. And then we go and select some of these greens. Maybe we want lighter greens, darker.
Darker.
Probably a little bit darker is nice.
Yes, nice.
Yeah. Alright, so just zoom back out, 25%. And so what this black and white layer has done is, as you can see, again, it's just another layer that brings we could play with it for a lot longer and do different things. It's just another layer that brings things all together. Yeah. Alright, so the last thing on this would be Les, for example, is Les's sharpen set, JPC sharpening, which is someone's name. And what that does is, we'll just open it up. So we've done an unsharpened mask of 200 and 0.5 pixels. Threshold is 0 because we don't need it. Again, another unsharpened mask of 30-30 and a high pass. So this is really sharpening. You've done high pass before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this is just...
That's what I gave you yesterday, from this John Caponegro. That's basically similar.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is just delete that stamp and stamp all the layers again.
Well, you have to do it from the top, otherwise when you're stamping.
Oh, really? Doesn't it work?
That's what I thought as well. I noticed we did it from the middle. So.
Okay. There you go, learn something every day. So stamp. That's our stamp layer, and we'll just run this sharpening first. Hit play. And it does our high pass stamp and as an overlay.
Oh yeah.
So now you can see when I get 100%. See how it's only sharpening all that stuff. And if I undo it, the sharpening actually, it's really sharp. So maybe we want to cut that down to half or something like that, or 30. So overall, we've done all of Les's basic actions, and from start to finish, we've created an image that just really pops. We'd locally remove some of these blacks and stuff because it's too strong and it's defeating everything. So maybe you could locally select all that, grab a levels layer, and just knock the blacks out of it. So see how that knocks all the blacks out? So,
and then mask.
Yeah, and then mask. Yeah, or you knock the whites out, whatever. But
well, you can invert it and then just paint white to brighten it a bit. Yeah.
But that's pretty much the whole process,
Okay,
and you'll come up with a great image.
Yeah. I like, when you were showing the first time, I think on one.
All right, so with this harder, softer curve, I made one myself. So we've used a preset of strong contrast. What I like to do, so let's see if we can make this as big as possible. So see where this number is here. What we can do is actually just move that over here and move this one on the opposite side of the curve. Yeah, so we're inverting the S here. And so that's now a softer curve, and you can actually save that as a preset if you want as well. Default, you probably come here and save curves, new preset, and I'll just call it soft contrast because it's the opposite. And as you can see, well, we've only got that on 10%, but if we change it to 100%, and as you can see, it does. It's not affecting it much actually, but we're on RGB. Yeah, but it'll make things a lot softer, a lot quicker. So.
And doesn't matter where you're doing it because you did it in this layer.
Yeah, well,
that wasn't that were the initial layers.
Yeah, so that's harder, softer.
Yeah.
So that's where we should.
Okay, but you stamped it, is it? So stamped up top because soon as you go down and stamp that, it's not going to show.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No,
that's correct.
Now you can see.
All right, see? Yeah. My fault. That's why it wasn't working.
No, that's good.
Yeah, so that's softer. And of course we can just go back to strong contrast. So see the difference in that? So, I mean, your image is actually in the middle, but we're going strong contrast, soft contrast. Yeah.
Right.
And then again, you just cut the opacity back. And done. All right.
Mary, if I would want, and adjust, like for example, if I would want somehow to strengthen the sense of this fog, right? How would you do it? Would you do it with maybe luminosity masking, or is it not possible? Or it's just basically it's not in the image or something?
No, it is possible. The strengthen the sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, how would you approach if you would want?
Pretty much. Like I said in the levels layer, all you're doing is actually removing the blacks. Yeah. So now if I go Control.
But it sort of affects the whole image, and it's very difficult to select just the kind of a fog part.
Yeah. So what do you want to select?
Well, you see, like, I mean, you can see that it's fog. Yeah. How to make it to appear stronger? Is it possible to make it to appear more perceptible than it is now?
So what we're doing is removing the blacks or something like that, and then you'd go into, let's go into this select color range, and what we're going to do is maybe find a color and just make it so the greens and stuff. So for example, there's no greens, maybe we're looking for yellows or something.
Oh, so you just go and see which one it will pop.
Yeah, as another example, there's this thing called, let's make it bigger, even bigger again, yeah. Alright, so see we've got our red, greens and blues, channels, and see if we click on them, so there's our green, there's our blues, and there's our reds. So what we're trying to do is find a colour that separates black and whites the most. And in this image,
usually blue, no?
Yeah, usually blue. Actually, blue's doing quite a good job. All right, so what I'm going to do is something pretty tricky, and go to Image, Calculations, and so what we're hoping to get out of these calculations is a new selection or a new channel, so we're just going to, which layers are we selecting? All of them, so they merge. We can select them individually if we want. What channel are we going to select? You know how we just went through the channels?
Blue.
Let's go blue, Same as here, merged, blue, and if we leave it on multiply, see how that is the most contrast in the image?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're looking for separate blacks and separate whites.
Mm-hmm.
Then we create this into, I'm going to create it into a new channel.
Mm-hmm.
This is starting to get confusing, just so you know. A new channel, click OK, and what we're going to do is make a selection out of the new channel, but before we do that selection, what we're going to do is select the alpha channel, go Command L on levels, so we're going to make it brighter, we're going to make it darker. So remember, we're creating a selection, and what happened to the mouse? Alright, so and we're just going to change the midtone a bit. So really what we've done, so undo that, we're just making a selection. So now if I command click on this alpha channel, it does that.
Selecting
Yeah. So it's selecting between the whites and blacks. Yeah. Now I've got this mask selected, and what I want to do is default colors, so black and white. So if I command delete, that'll fill that layer with black. And if I alt delete, which is in front, that'll fill the foreground color in there. So I'll command delete, background color, deselect, and we've automatically got. I mean, it's bringing the image out. Maybe that's not what you want. So we can then adjust from here whether we want more fog, less fog, like that kind of thing. Less whites in the highlights. You can adjust this thing as well. So, I mean, it's really up to you to what you do. So maybe that's looking a bit more foggy. I think that's looking great, actually. So
I think so too.
Yeah. So again, that's bringing the image apart. So, all right, game set match.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I'll stop this one.
Put Leo Forest. Leo Bhutan Forest. Yeah.
But it's number 3, probably.
You can change it later,
Yeah.
Desktop. Is there another one there? Oh, that's Photoshop. So you want me to save this file?
Yeah.
Yes,
save it.
My stuff is up.
No, save it back there, then you can copy and I can copy.
Yeah, alright, cool. So I'll save it there, and I'll also save it on the desktop. Cool. Oh, that's... that'll take a while to save that. You can't save the same file twice at the same time.
It will save faster than on mine.
Yeah. But also saving the video in the same time.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to steal that video off your channel. Alright, so close that. So did the other one save? Two.